Hey everyone, Tom here from Pizarro's Pieces, and we're back for the third video with the man here, Big C. Showcasing some of his WWF WWE collection. You would have seen the other video we done on the Hasbro figures, and today he's brought in some of his Mattel and Jakks figures. How you doing, mate? Glad to have you back again for the third time.
Yeah, can't keep me away.
I know. Obviously you haven't brought all of them with you. It's a bit difficult. We work on a small table and that here, so but half of the guys here obviously are the Ultimate Warrior. So we've discussed in previous videos your love for the guy.
Yeah. Basically, before I even had an interest in Hasbro's, getting the Hasbro's back, although I'd finished with wrestling in like 2002, 2003, by 2004, Jakks Pacific had the toy license, and they got it in 1996. Okay. They took over Toy Biz, had it for a year, believe it or not.
I know you mentioned it to me, I never knew that,
So by 1996, Jakks had it, and in 2004 they released the Classic Superstars, and this is what really started my whole wrestling figure collection again. From this, is where it's grown to today. From this series, the Collect series, I've got obviously an Andre the Giant Series 1 there in the pack. Got a few Jakks out for you.
Yeah, so this half from Tugboat to me is the Mattels.
It's the Mattels, the new figures.
We've got some over there, and then obviously we've got some more newer ones. I mean, this guy's quite recent. The Undertaker's quite recent there, and we've got an elite Ultimate Warrior here. Obviously, I had quite a few of the Jakks figures. I say quite a few. I must have had 60, 70 of them carved. I think, I'll be honest with you, I thought some of them were quite poor. I think we were discussing earlier about they were using the same bodies on some of them for a lot of the wrestlers, and some of them just didn't look particularly like them. What in regards to the difference between the Jakks and the Mattels?
Look, I could pull out a few Jakks figures that I believe could beat Mattel's figures, but overall Mattel, technology's moved on and stuff as well in the way they're made, but Mattel obviously are the more superior figure compared to these guys. You mentioned before, Mattel are very big on scale. So the wrestler, compared to other, each wrestler compared to each other would be the relevant size in real life. Jakks had the problem where you could have Rey Mysterio would be the same size as the Big Show. There is no real scale in it. There was about 3 or 4 different body types, and every wrestler had to fit, into that specific mould. Where Mattel a little bit more personalised. I believe most wrestlers have their own, body type moulded.
I'm looking at some of the guys here. Most of these are pretty good. I mean, we've got an example here as well. You were saying that Jakks made, LJN made the old ones, didn't they?
This is what is known as a Jakks LJN style. What they started doing in Classic Superstar series is there'd be one figure in each series that would be an LJN style figure. So they're big, quite heavy, solid rubber things. No articulation, literally just almost like a rubber statue. That one's The Rock. I don't have too many of these. Something I'd like to collect. Something I would like, there was one in every series from about 4 or 5 series onwards.
Well, the originals were in the late 80s. I remember was there a junkyard dog, wasn't there?
They had everyone. I mean, I've seen people online with collections, 30, 40, 50 of them.
It was sort of, again, before my time a little bit. I think, watch the table.
Macho Man's taken a dive.
I think it was a little bit before my time as well. I was more, like you said, the late 80s was more about still He-Man, stroke Thundercats. I was into, even Brave Star was out there, and that was another item, another toy line that I was into. But yeah, I mean, in regards to now and your focuses, obviously Jakks don't make them anymore. But Mattel are pumping out Elite series like there's no tomorrow. Which one has it come out? Is it
47?
47, which features Cactus Jack. We mentioned.
I think the
Boogeyman's another one. I can't remember. I see a few.
There is going to be a 47.5 as well, which they do now and again. not 48. It's a 47.5.
What? And how many is in how many?
Another complete series of, I think, 6 figures a series, and they normally do only a couple of flashbacks. You know, because of my stance. If you watch the previous video on our general wrestling, you'd know that I'm not too big on today's stuff.
Yeah, on the new
I
stuff,
really am only interested in those 2 or 3 figures that they give you a flashback on per series.
Well, the thing is, we were saying as well about, you know, the Hasbros were made for kids, and I definitely think these are more made for adults.
Yeah.
As you say, if you look at the likes of the Ultimate Warrior, Tugboat, you know, Macho Man, people like that, the kids of today wouldn't know these characters.
No,
so
you go into Smith's, 50% is wrestlers from when we were kids, and 50% is the guys wrestling today. Now, no kid's going to go in there and ask his mum to buy Tugboat, because, you know,
no one knows
he'd be like, who's Tugboat?
And it's similar to what you're saying. You go in there and you look at some. I mean, we went into Smith's a little while back, and I was looking at some of the wrestlers, and I was like, "Who's this guy? Who's that?"
Yeah.
And I don't know some of them. I mean, I know, you know, from a few years ago, the likes of Sheamus and people like that. But the newer ones that are coming out, I've never even heard of myself. So, but yeah, I think Mattel are definitely targeting guys like yourself. For nostalgic reasons for some people, but some people are huge collectors.
I mean, I think I've got 5 Ultimate Warriors with me now. You could keep going with Ultimate Warriors. There's probably still about another 5 or 6 of Mattel to collect.
Oh, as we mentioned as well, these guys, this series had one as well, didn't they?
They Series 1 had an Ultimate Warrior in it, which I haven't got.
Yeah. And they go for some.
There's about 6 or 7 different Jakks Ultimate Warriors as well. The thing with the Ultimate Warriors, he had different looks, different styles. So he never wore the same costume twice, never had the same colours twice. So you could really keep a look going on any single one of his outfits. What I like what Mattel do, as opposed to Jakks, were a bit like Hasbro. It's a standard snapshot of how you expect that wrestler to be. Mattel concentrate on special outfits on special occasions.
Yeah, they bring like WrestleMania Hall of Fame moments and all that.
As an example, he's a Royal Rumble 91 appearance. He's looking Royal Rumble 91. It doesn't officially state that on the card, but being a fan, that was his look for that. You know, this is when he was in the tag team with Macho Man. You got the WrestleMania 6 against Hogan. You got the SummerSlam 92,
which of course you was at, weren't you?
Yeah, and you got the Hall of Fame Target exclusive SummerSlam 90. So they've all got the look of, you know, what he actually performed in, rather than just a general, you know, outfit.
So obviously as well, with, say for example, someone like yourself who's a big Ultimate Warrior fan, it's endless. It can just keep going and keep going, and there's a target market out there.
Yeah, and they will continue to flood the market with them.
Well, there's been quite a few come out. I mean, I went into Smith's recently. I see Macho King, Randy Savage, Tugboat. But before that, there's others that you said you'd like to get hold of yourself. You haven't. People like Demolition's one that you said you're looking at,
which go for really big money online for some reason.
So there's a lot of huge collectors out. You say there's some on YouTube that you mentioned yourself, and that when does it stop? That's the question.
Yeah.
It's like, with any toy collector, you sort of say, you can see on this table half your figures of one character, of one wrestler. Do you limit yourself, or is it a case of this guy looks quite good?
Well, I'm still doing the thing where I'm backtracking on some of the series, trying to grab online some of the ones that I did manage to pick up at the time. I'm also now in a position where I'm able to just get the ones I want to get as they come out, and that's what I've been doing basically. But yeah, I mean, I'll just keep any time I go into Smith's. I mean, we're so lucky now to have Smith's, which is something we didn't have as a kid, Tom.
No, well, there wasn't even really that many Toys R Us.
The Toys R Us were few and far between, and I've always thought that Toys R Us was still not the toy shop, you know, as a kid that you dreamed about seeing. And I think Smith's, you walk into a Smith's, it's quite impressive. It's floor to ceiling, fully stocked.
Especially for wrestling, and Star Wars are two of the biggest there.
They keep it so stocked that you don't see any holes in the shelving. It's like no one else has been in there. It's like you're the first person to pick something fresh from the shelves, where Toys R Us, I mean, there's holes on the shelves everywhere, and it's a bit of a mess.
Well, the last time I went in there, they only had one of them near me. They only had a tiny section of wrestling anyway.
Yeah.
There obviously are a lot of other franchises out there, and I think Toys R Us tried to mix it up.
Well, I think wrestling nowadays, wrestling's being lost to your Marvels, to your Star Wars. You know, they're taking a lot of that market. Kids aren't going to go in and buy a wrestler, a Star Wars, and
And a Spider-Man.
And a Spider-Man. You know, it's going to be one or the other. And I think that you will find Smiths, I mean, have a brilliant selection. If you've never been there, you should go there. Smiths have a massive selection of wrestling.
Well, we obviously visited the one in Charlton, which is quite a big one.
Which is a big one, yeah.
Anyone who's watching this who's probably been to Smiths, there's probably bigger ones up and down the country.
Yeah.
I've only been to a couple, but that one's quite big, and it's got a big... You said the one in Reading's...
Reading's good, big wrestling section. But most normal toy shops today, you're down to a little couple of shelves on the corner of an aisle of when it comes to wrestling bits.
There isn't really too many. Apart, they're the two big ones, aren't they? The two big franchises. Yeah. So, but as well, who have they not released? Who you maybe like to see?
Well,
there's a few out there, isn't there?
I like people like there's an Akeem figure I'd like to get, and he did come out in the early Mattel Legends, which is a series they did for a little while. Mattel knocked it on the head and just decided to release these as part of the standard Elite series. But there's a lot of wrestlers at the moment filing lawsuits. I don't know if you've heard about this lawsuit against the WWE.
No, I'm not.
And there's 52 wrestlers now involved in it, and so many on that list I'd love to see figures of. And obviously WWE.
Is that to do with WWE using them and not?
No, it's to do with. They're claiming they're doing a joint lawsuit, all these old wrestlers claiming that WWE didn't tell them about the dangers of concussions and brain damage and stuff and what they were doing in the ring, so they're all now trying to... But it's a lot of bitter wrestlers on the list who are doing it. You know, just...
Well, I said to you, there's a few that we was talking about who I can't remember seeing figures of, and then we were called Big Papa Pump. Scott Steiner was one. Mattel's not made one, have they?
Mattel haven't,
Jakks made one though, didn't
Jakks
they?
did, yeah.
And
Jakks
of course WCW, and I can't remember who made WCW's toys now. I can't think.
WCW?
I can't remember
who made their toys.
Who made their
Galoob toys in the early days.
Yeah, the little rubbers. And then
I think you find it may have been Jakks.
I can't remember.
By the late 90s who were
Someone
making
will probably
figures.
be able to tell us in the comments. Yeah. Feel free. I had quite a lot of them. Obviously they had a Big Papa Pump, Goldberg. They used to do the double packs with Macho Man, Queen Elizabeth and all that, some of them. And they was quite good. I thought the WCW... You never got into it. You was never into WCW.
No.
I remember you could get the Giant... he was quite big, and when you was talking about him previously about the Giant and Rey Mysterio, there was the Giant figure came with a small Rey Mysterio, who he used to have a long neck, so you'd be able to grab him and choke slam him. I thought the WCW toys were quite good. I had quite a few of them, but I can't remember who made them. So is there any out at the minute, or even ones that are due to come out that you're targeting at the minute?
The one I'm targeting is probably the next big one I'm going to buy, and it is quite expensive. It's got to be the Shockmaster figure.
Oh yeah, we spoke about that. So that was a San Diego
Comic-Con
exclusive. So there's only a
surprisingly still quite abundant on Amazon and eBay. So you can still pick him up for a reasonable price.
Yeah, I think I see him for about £40-45. I think
just you would only understand it if you're a proper wrestling fan.
Yeah, we spoke about the Shockmaster.
It would be such a niche group of people who'd buy it.
But of course, as well, the figure's upside down in the box.
That's
which
right.
is part of the scene.
Yeah, you know, he's got
again, if for you guys that don't know about the Shockmaster, the person behind the mask is of course the guy who is Tugboat and Typhoon. Fred Ottman, is it?
Fred Ottman,
it's such a funny story, and every time like I said in the last video, we spoke about it, and I watch it. It's like a 2-minute video, and I'm in tears.
I have heard in the next couple of Elite series we are going to see a Typhoon.
Okay.
So we'll have a Tugboat, a Typhoon, and to have the Shockmaster as well. You'd have the 3 characters of him, and that's what I try and do as well. You know, I try and, if there are variants of a certain wrestler I've already got, then it's nice to not try and fulfill a whole collection of figures, but try and fulfill a whole collection of certain wrestlers.
Of characters.
Of characters, yeah. So
that's good stuff. Well, look, thanks for coming in again.
No problem.
And obviously, if you haven't seen the other videos before, there's a video showcasing some Hasbros, just talking about Hasbro figures. And then, of course, we did a long video with me and Big C talking about wrestling in general, from WCW to TNA to the WWF. Go give that a watch. And again, thanks for the support. Give us a like. Any comments put below, and don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you soon.
Cheers.